The general laughed as he watched the young woman struggle with crates of gear. "Keep loading, sweetheart," he said with a sneer, dismissing her as just another assistant. But then his eyes fell on her hand, a Navy SEAL ring glinting under the fluorescent light. His smirk vanished. The entire room froze. Suddenly, the question wasn't who she was, but what she carried. The airbase was buzzing with activity, soldiers moving fast, prepping for a classified exercise. At the edge of the hangar, a young woman in a neatly pressed uniform quietly lifted boxes of heavy equipment. She didn't complain, didn't call for help, just kept working. A few officers passed without a second glance. To them, she was invisible. But the general stopped. He chuckled loudly, his voice carrying across the room. "You'd think we had machines for this," he said mockingly. Then he added, "Keep loading, sweetheart." Laughter rippled from a few nearby soldiers. To them, it was nothing. To her, it was everything. A wound on her pride. She kept her head down, her grip tightening on the crate, but her silence spoke louder than any words. No one knew the truth about the quiet soldier they thought was beneath them. As she stacked the last crate, sweat dripping from her brow, the general moved closer, circling her like a hawk. "Tell me," he said with a smirk, "do they let you play soldier or just carry bags?" His words hung heavy, sharp enough to cut. The soldiers nearby chuckled again, feeding off his authority. She didn't answer. She only brushed the dust from her hands, her expression calm but unreadable. Then the general's gaze dropped to her hand. That's when he saw it, the ring. Not just any ring. A polished gold band, engraved with the iconic trident, the insignia of the Navy SEALs. The general froze mid-sentence. His smirk collapsed into silence. The soldiers who had laughed stopped instantly, eyes wide. In one heartbeat, the room changed. Respect replaced mockery, and the weight of truth pressed down harder than any crate. "Where did you get that?" the general asked, his voice suddenly low, almost strained. The young woman finally lifted her head, her eyes steady, her voice calm. "It was my father's. He earned it in combat, in places you don't talk about, places you only read in reports." The silence in the hangar deepened. Every soldier turned, suddenly caught between shame and awe. She went on, her tone unwavering. "He was a SEAL, a warrior, a man who bled for this flag until his last breath. And that ring," she held her hand up slightly, the trident catching the light. "It's not just jewelry. It's a promise that his sacrifice, his courage, his legacy, they will never be forgotten." No one moved. Even the general, once so confident, now looked like a man staring into the reflection of his own arrogance. For the first time, the general had no clever retort. His chest tightened with guilt as he realized what he had done. Mocked the daughter of a hero, belittled the very spirit he was supposed to protect. She stepped forward, her presence commanding without needing rank. "You think strength looks like power and medals," she said, locking eyes with him. "But real strength doesn't boast. It doesn't mock. It doesn't look down. Real strength is sacrifice, the kind that doesn't need recognition." The soldiers standing nearby felt their own pride shrink. Many lowered their eyes. The general swallowed hard, his authority crumbling under the weight of her words. He knew he could not undo the insult, but he also knew that respect, once lost, was not easily earned again. And in that moment, he wasn't the teacher, he was the one being taught. The young woman placed her father's SEAL ring back against her chest, tucking it beneath her uniform. Her eyes softened, though her voice remained firm. "I didn't come here to be noticed. I came here to serve, just like him." With that, she turned back to the crates, lifting the next one as though nothing had happened. But everything had. The hangar was silent, the soldiers frozen in reflection. The general, once towering in arrogance, stood humbled, his respect earned in a way he could never deny. From that day on, whispers spread through the ranks, not of mockery, but of reverence. They didn't call her sweetheart anymore. They called her what she already was, a warrior carrying the weight of a legacy that no rank or title could ever surpass. And in the echo of that silence, Her father's sacrifice lived on. If this story moved you, show your support by liking, commenting, and sharing it with others. Subscribe to Unheard Heroes for more powerful untold stories that honor courage and sacrifice.